Welcome back to my channel. Today we're scraplifting Claudia from Stash on Instagram. It's also Mixed Media Mayhem, so the Mixed Media Mayhem people picked this one to scraplift from her, and she's also the one that Pineapple Papers put down to scraplift, so may I scraplift you works well. So I'm scrapbooking these two pictures of my oldest. She was in about, I'm pretty sure this is grade 2. And she graduated, so a long time ago. And this is a project that she did at school for a blended program that we used to be in, and she had to make a insect. And so the insect could be based on a real insect, but had to be a little bit, there had to be at least two things that were different. And so she actually remembered that at graduating here, that was what was going on. And so she said that hers was based on a ladybug, which is not surprising. Everything was based on a ladybug at this point in her life. And so I had already pulled out ladybugs before we had that conversation as scraps to get on here because she's got a bug. I might as well do ladybugs. And she said the two things that she changed is it is that pink color and it has mandibles, so which is kind of fun. So I'm just kind of laying out what I'm thinking might happen. She has this round bit. Mine's going to be a little bit rounder, I think, or a little bit fuller, and that's totally okay. So I used a dinner plate to draw out that line. I could have done the two pieces on top and just pasted them down, but I am going to make this a little harder on myself, and I'm going to cut it open because that's kind of what I felt like it looked like. So because it kind of looks like where her mixed media is on her white pattern paper, there's some like roughed up edge there. So this is a little tedious, and that's okay. It will work eventually. I pull out this Tim Holtz stencil, which has a whole bunch of numbers in it, and this Stamperia cream paste, and I get pretty messy with it to start with. It is very smooth, and it's almost like butter or like marshmallow fluff. It goes on like smooth, quick, easy. I'm gonna have to, I don't know if this will, thoughts together. I don't know if it'll dry out really quickly or not. I've never had this one before, but it was on a sale from my local scrapbook store that I go to, Paper and Ink, had a sale on, and Stamperia was on, I don't know, it was a good percentage off, and so I think this was half, I think, ish, something like that. It was a sale over the long weekend we had. Canada's was a couple weeks ago. So this is new to my stash. I dried it off with the heat gun. I did look at it to see if there's any other instructions. It said add with a spatula, and that definitely was a good call. And I didn't read that first. I read that after to see if there's any drying instructions, because sometimes it's like, don't dry with a heat gun, and it didn't say anything like that, so I hit it with that heat gun that you saw. And then I pulled out some scraps. So I'm using my plate to tear because I thought that would be the easiest. And so I thought maybe this one could be that little blue piece she's got, which would have been fine. I actually like it better as the middle piece. So I'm going to use it as the middle piece, but I he and haw about that for a while because there is a little bit that's not long enough there. And I was like, So I pulled out this piece. I'm like, it's not quite the feel I wanted to go for. And then no, wasn't what I was going for. So yeah, all right. And then I was like, I have some more of this in a scrap. I'm just going to glue it together and then tear some more and be good with it. So this is what I do. It takes me a hot minute to like line those lines up, but they need to be lined up or else it's not going to look right. A lot of it you don't even see on my page after all of a sudden, like, I probably could have just left it the way it was for the tiny little bit of pink that you see and called it good and it wouldn't have mattered. But, and then on Claudia's, she has some of her papers that she used in that circle bit as layers. I'm going to use them and more as my layers too. I'm going to do another round piece. This is going to be where her blue is. So I thought that might be the easiest way to do that. I don't know if it would have been the easiest way to do that, but that's okay. That's how my brain was. I wonder how the other mixed media ladies or creatives go about doing that circle bit. I'm going to have to watch and see, because yeah, that like didn't really throw me for a loop, but I wonder if there's an easier way to do it than what I did, because this is what I did. So I pieced together some of that pink so that it had more of a all the way around. You don't really notice that I pieced together it, like now that I say it. If you looked at it, you would probably be like, oh yeah, I can see that you did that. But if you just looked at my layout without looking at that pink piece, you would have never known. And this is the back of that rainbow with this white and blue polka dot. And I like that. And then this is another scrap that I've used on lots of different pages this month. And look at a little more of it. So have you seen some of the other ones with this yellow polka dot? I can't believe how many pages this has gone out to. I don't think I have any more of it left. I think that's it of it, which is crazy and exciting. A little random piece of polka dot. I'm looking through, I have a rolly cart beside my desk that has all my scraps in it, so I'm looking through my scraps to see what can work with this, because yeah. And then I'm going to dry some of those places that I overlapped so there wasn't those gaps. I'm going to take off the branding strip, which I was like, oh, maybe I should have done that to start with, but I didn't. This is a one little bird paper from Studio Calico. I did try and show it earlier. I don't know what it was called. If you want me to go look, I totally can, but it's old as the hills. And this looks like it's white with just that bottom corner on it. It actually has a light gray print on it. And that's, I don't know if you can see it on Claudia's, but hers has a light gray print that's like back to school. Mine are kind of almost, well, they're square, I don't know, square geometric kind of thing. So, and then I cut that off and I cut it too short. It looked like it would have been fine, but when you feed it in again, it's too short. How did I do that? I don't know, whatever. This piece will go on just fine and won't be a big deal, and it's just one of those things. And this is where I get fiddly. So if you wanted to like fast forward, like change my speed so this goes a little bit faster than my 3 times, by all means, make me go faster. But if you haven't yet, it is a fiddly bit, but I thought it was important to like see that this was fiddly, and maybe if you decide to scraplift this from mine or Claudia's or from one of the other amazing ladies, you can learn from my mistake and not put this piece down first. Nope, don't put this piece down first. It's all what it is, right? You learn, you play. I enjoyed playing with this, so not a big deal. And then I was like, oh, right, this needs to go underneath it. Oh, I didn't leave enough there. Can I get it underneath? No, that's coming up anyway. So I'm pulling this up again. And then this is going to go down. And that'll make it easier for the pink. Because now I don't have to, it just goes on. So silly of me, myself. But that's okay. There we go. And line that one piece up. Perfect. On. Yay. And then this will cover most of that anyway. So this is going to sneak here. Easy enough. This is going to go on top of there. I'm going to pull this down just a touch more so it gets that top pink, just like that, with my T-square to make sure it's straight. And then all that other stuff is going to get hidden anyway, so I'm not even worried about it, because this border strip with the circles is totally going to go on top. So I'm going to put this on first, with all those lovely layers, and then this. And so my picture is a lot bigger than Claudia's is. A lot bigger. I don't have small pictures like that typically. So I scrapbook bigger pictures. So, which is totally okay. I'm going to add some glue to this so that it stays together now. And that's totally cool. And then I decided I could rip and slide a little bit of the ladybug underneath here, which is totally cute and gives the nod to the ladybug, which I didn't even know that I was nodding to the ladybug, other than it was a bug. It was my kid. So I kind of assumed it had something to do with ladybugs, but I didn't remember. So I'll have to put the little bit of that story on here. Ladybug with mandibles and pink. And then this is a close-up of her. It's actually a mask made out of a milk jug. And so it was a lot of fun. The mandibles are sponges, if you can't see that. And kind of cute. She's literally in grade 2, so not a big deal. They had to write a little report and talk about all the different adaptations. I totally remember all that part. But yeah. And I pulled out, this is the only scalloped punch that I have, and it kind of looks more like a curtain when I do it this way for what I did, but that's okay. Claudia's is scalloped at the top for those strips, and it looks like some of her strips are a little different than what she has underneath. I'm going to use the same ones because I have them, so yeah. Kind of like that consistency on my page anyway, so. And I think you probably see me put the yellow around the mask and my punch jammed a little bit, so I just pulled it out for what I got, and that works well. So I think I'm going, how do I want to do this? So the ladybug's going to go on top because it's long enough and I have enough of it. This pink is going to go underneath because it can be hidden by the photo, and then this stripe is going to go underneath those because, again, hidden by the photo, and then it looks like it's long enough even though it's not. Just double checking that's what I want, and it's super cute, and yep, and I'm going to work from the top down instead. So sometimes it's just easier. And then slide it. Make sure this slides up enough that there's not a piece, like a white pattern paper sneaking up behind. And then in and done and sweet. And I did think I wanted it underneath, and I still would have gotten it there, but then I decided I wanted a little bit of the blue back on the back of this so that the blue comes up too. And there's the top left corner for that paper. I don't have any more of that paper, but the rest of the papers I think are on here. So in one way or another, which is perfect. Trim that off, ruffle it up. This was not sticking, so it's just going to get glued down because it totally is staying. I had thought about using that other piece at the top there, but it didn't really match. And I still wanted to see the ladybugs. And if I put it at the top, you weren't going to see the ladybugs. So, and I'm just going to call this bugs because I asked her if she had a name for her bug mask, and she's like, I don't know what you're talking about, Mom. When I asked her, I'll have to see the picture. And she's like, I don't, whatever. I'm like, okay, not a big deal. So I just called it bugs because whatever. And that's kind of where Claudia has hers. I don't have as much space to embellish beside. Like, she's got a lot of embellishment on here, but I didn't feel like I could get as much on. So I do pull out these really pink word stickers, and I thought they would be great because they match almost identically to the color of her mask. And it says school, learn, and I'm going to pick out the one that says awesome, because this was awesome. And we took pictures because she didn't want to store it anymore. Well, I took pictures anyway, but I took pictures, and then when she didn't want to store it anymore, she was like, Mom, do I have pictures of that? I'm like, here, yep, we've got pictures. And she's like, awesome. So I don't think we have the ladybug mandible in the house anymore, but super cute. I decided to use those, I don't know, pieces for bugs. A little more emphasis. I thought it was fun. And then there's some hearts and stars on this American Craft Thickers. I got it from my Hip Kit Club, and I put them all over the place. And then I pulled out my Tim Holtz sprays. These are the newer ones that just came out. So this is the first set of the newer ones that he released in the last little while. I do not have the second set. So I did the pink and then the blue, and then I shake the orange and make a mess, and it goes everywhere. Everywhere. I don't know what's wrong with that lid. I have that trouble with the orange one every time. I don't know what's going on, but. And then this is lemon citron, because I remembered the name of that one. I don't remember the other ones. I can go look if you want me to. Just let me know which ones you want to know the color name of, and I could go look. And then this is the orange again, but it was leaking out the side of the top, so I just did it that way. And then some more blue, and then I'm going to add more pink, and then more orange, and more citron. This is weathered wood, which is a little bit of gray. And then finish up on this side a little bit more. More orange. I was a little careful when I opened it up that time. That's lemon and citron, which you can see in person, but it's hard to see on screen. And then a lot more pink, because there's pink in that picture. So, and Claudia's, all her mixed medias kind of combine, her paste and her colors are all right there. It doesn't look like she used splatters. It looks like she probably used a watercolor, but I didn't want to pull my watercolors out. I thought about it, but I didn't want to. So I did it this way. And then this is an Ali Edwards sticker piece from a long time ago, from her Learn kit, I'm sure. And up top it says good times, and the one I put at the right side says keep going. And then I'm going to look through some other things to see what else I can get on here. So I thought about that hexagon heart, but doesn't really, doesn't do anything for me. And then these pink ones are the same color again as her bug. So these ones are going to go on. I thought about the arrow, and I thought about the arrow down in this spot here to say daily details. But I thought it took away from everywhere else too much. And then looking through all of the other bits I have, because I have a lot of sticker bits. And these are Studio Calico and Ali Edwards. This today goes up here. I thought that was a really cute little spot for that. And nope. Not those ones. Not the flares. Not these ones. And yay, enamel dots. So I'm going to do a pink one, a orange one, and a blue one. in 4 spots. So, and then different sizes of them because I thought they'd be cute. It pulls the blue in a different spot from the bottom. There's like orange and yellow in all the other spots easily, but I just wanted to pull a little bit more blue. I'm going to dry that a little bit. And then I'm going to do one more enamel dot to put on that checklist down there for the daily details. And then that is this one done. I will have this linked to the playlist for Mixed Media Mayhem and the playlist for May I Scraplift You. And I will have Claudia's links below, and I will have Crystal Barrett's for Pineapple Papers link below because she's the one who organizes May I Scraplift You. And here are some still shots. So much fun. You can see a little bit of that pattern in that background on that white paper now that it's closer. And yay, another one done. One more left for May I Scraplift You for May, and that will be Saturdays. Yay, I'm so excited. I got all of the days done except for the 1st and the 2nd. Make sure if you liked my video, give me a like. If you're new to me, I would love to have you here, and you can take a look at some of these other videos. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Have yourself a great day.